Hello everyone, welcome back to Blockman Editor tutorial. In these videos, we will give you a complete introduction to the Blockman Editor. In this video, we continue our learning about parts. First, let's look at what a component library is. When making complex games, we can store some part models in advance, so that they can be accessed at any time when needed. This function for storing part models is the component library. Next, let's see how to use the component library function. Enter the editor, and click on the component library button in the game components view. You can see that the component library is still empty at this point, and we need to add the part models. There are various ways to add part models to the component library. We can place some parts in the scene. Then add the part to the component library by right-clicking on the part in the scene and selecting the Put into Library option from the pop-up options. You can also edit part model by selecting the part in the world tree and then dragging and dropping the part into the component library. Note that after we add the part to the component library, the part from the scene will be removed. If you want to use models from the component library for scene building, you can drag and place the part models into the scene. However, it is important to note that for a part model in the component library, if we only use it to build a scene in the editing state, and are not going to do anything with it after the game starts running, then we need to delete it from the component library after we finish building the scene. This is because the content of the component library increases the size of the game package. Removing part models that will not be dynamically operated during the running of the game will help reduce the size of the game package. It's good to keep that in mind when using the component library for scene building. When we place the parts from the component library into the scene, the generated parts are unrelated to the parts in the component library. For example, if we modify the properties of a part in the scene, it will not affect the parts in the component library. Similarly, we can modify parts in the component library without affecting the parts in the scene. The component library isn't limited to storing parts. You can also add other part models such as union, model, and mesh part. Find the mesh file we prepared in advance in the editor, and you can place the mesh file into the scene by dragging and dropping it. The mesh part is the part model generated in the scene. The mesh part's properties are similar to those of the part, its position, boards, and size can be adjusted, and the mesh part also has the trigger edit function. When we are making a game, we may encounter situations where we need to use more than one map, such as map A after spawn, and map B is the game area. So what do we need to do when we want to copy the part models made in map A to map B? Select a part in map A, then use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C to copy it. You will find a part in the scene that can follow your mouse movement, which means we have successfully copied the part. Click the back button in the Game Resources view to return to the map list. Double-click on map B to enter the map, use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+V, and the copied parts will appear. At this moment, we can see the copied part is still following the mouse movement. If we click the left mouse button, we can place the part into the scene. If you want to copy multiple parts to the new map, you can select multiple parts by holding the Control key on the keyboard and clicking on the parts in the scene with the mouse. Then repeat the steps we did with copying individual parts to copy those selected parts into a new map. When selecting parts for copying, sometimes there are too many parts in the scene, and they overlap each other, making it difficult to accurately select a specific part. When facing this situation, we can use the two functions, lock and hide in the world tree. Click on a part. When we enable the lock function of the part becomes unable to be selected in the scene with your mouse. If you want to adjust the properties of a locked part, you can find the part in the world tree, and click on it, then click on the Properties view. Now you can edit its properties. The hide function can toggle the display of the selected part to the hidden state. When the part is hidden, the part will not be displayed in the scene, and cannot be selected with a mouse click. Note that the hide function only applies to the edit screen. When we run the game, the part will still be displayed normally. That's all for this video. We hope it can help you on your way to a great creator. If you want to know more about the editor, you can comment below the video or post on the official forum. See you in the next video.